steering rack and cross member have to be in the correct height so that it lines up correctly with the steering arms on the spindles. We also have the height of the tow strap in a correct location so that we can pull the car and tow the car and pull it up into the trailer. It's always a good idea to add that on before you put the final assembly in. Doing this, we also have to make sure that the rack is in the proper location so that it clears the harmonic balancer and the oil pan. If not, you're going to have to do some major reconstruction work on that, and then all your geometry and acrement will be incorrect. So there has to be a lot of work that has to go on that. We also incorporated the cross member. We also made the rack so it helps do a couple of things as well. It helps support the front end and also helps support the spindle mounts and the front forward strut rod. Rick Jones supplied us with a steering shaft, column, and lightweight steering wheel. We used a couple knuckles to get the proper geometry for the steering so it steers very easily, and also clears the headers and some of the other components that we have on the car. As you can see, the Rick Jones steering wheel with the quick removable mount on it, by the way, is only 1 5/8 pounds, so it's extremely light. And it's a very, very attractive item, and I think it's well worth it. It's very, very good looking, and the amount of weight that you save is well worth it. Project White Wagon, sitting in a junkyard for 4 decades, took its toll on this car, and it will take its toll on any car. So we have our fair share of some repair work that has to be done. Some of it doesn't look as major, but when you get into some of the areas, you can see the before picture that we took of what the rust was like and how we cut it out, and we had to make some new metal pieces and put it in. This car has to have all the metal work done on it before it goes to sandblast and powder coat. You can't go back and redo any body work on this car after that, so all the sheet metal work has to be done. And as you can see down here, when we had to do this, we had to make some compound angles, and we had to make all this section, and we had to make it correctly so it fits. So when the body man does the final finish work on it, he has less work that he has to do, and the project will come out much better. Over here, we just have to cut out some sections and remake some new pieces. But all in all, this tailgate is really in pretty good shape other than a few spots in each corner. And you can see down here, we're getting ready to cut and make some new pieces for the corner. JW Nova does not make any of the replacement quarters for a station wagon, although they do for a regular sedan. And we're going to try to make and incorporate some of the pieces from that to try to make this work correctly because it's so far gone. And while we were there, we trimmed up all the excess metal trying to get the car light and make a nice finished job out of it.
Let me get in here tight. Okay, go ahead.
We were talking about how nice the sheet metal work is on this, and you can see it lines up pretty decent for just laying it on there right now. You can see on the back side, Cousin Phil got a little carried away with the torch when he had to cut some of the rusted hardware out. Well, we'll fix it up. But the corner here, it looks bad, but with a little bit of time and some work and trying to do a good job, it'll come out pretty nice. You'll be surprised what it looks like when it's done. We got new fenders from JW Nova parts, and the sheet metal really is a nice finish on this, as you can see looking down the side of it. All the intricate details that are in the die are there, and the wheel well fits really, really nice. The mounting points on these aftermarket body pieces have to be adjusted a little bit up here and some of the holes and things like that to give it a correct fit, which is normal on any aftermarket fender. But we really like the finished body work on these fenders that we got from JW, so highly recommended. When you can, use fresh sheet metal. It's a little lighter than the original, and the finish on these things and the dies and molds that they have are really, really nice.
Modified eliminator was a great class because it was weight to cubic inch, what racing actually started out to be. We would have a fair playing field. And the great thing about modified, the technology did not exist to start with. It was just one person against another, basically. The money wasn't involved, high technology wasn't involved. It was just us competing like a sport. And the technology kind of unfolded over a long period of time until modern times, when money and this electronic technology just took this stuff off the scale. And then it was just more like a sport, like an athletic sport. It was a competition between me and you. And it was great, and it was fair, and it was flat out to start with, like some of the pro classes are today. And really, the sharp guy could win then.